So today we're going to do a little Zwift racing. This will be a little tutorial and an introduction to racing. First of all, I will say that make sure you always get a good warm-up before you get into any race. It's definitely going to be a little higher in intensity than you normally would, so really good in terms of doing some fartlek training, doing high intensity training, and just pushing yourself a little harder than you normally would just doing a workout or a ride on your own, even a group ride. Just that competitive edge. Again, nothing gets you faster like racing. So there's many different races that you can do on Zwift. Some of them are short, 15-kilometer races. Some of them are longer, and you can jump into a whole bunch of different types of races. Some are based on watts per kilogram, so they'll put you in a A through, say, E class, depending on your watts per kilogram as it relates to your threshold. Some are age-based, so just like we have age groups, you can do races like that. And then there's just open races, women's only races, so you can play around, look around. For our purposes, we're actually not going to be set up under a race for our first couple rides. It will be just our meetup, but that meetup start time will be the start of the race. And the route that we're going to choose is basically a race to the finish. So first one across the finish line will be the winner, and away we go. Hopefully over time it can build up enough credibility in the Zwift world that Zwift will actually let me create races or create races for me. That's how you see some of those private groups setting up different races or clubs. So we'll see if we get to that point, because that'd be a lot of fun. Unfortunately for us, for now, there's no power-ups or anything like that, but again, it'll still be good to get the competitive juices flowing. So I'm warming up right now. I'm just gonna talk for a little bit. Again, I'm gonna move through a typical warm-up that I would do, just a gradual build. I've given myself 20 minutes. It's a 20-kilometer race, and it's fairly flat. It should be done under a half hour, at least the group that I'm trying to ride with. They'll be riding way north of 40 kilometers an hour if I can get it with a quick group. So again, that's why I want to make sure that I have a good warm-up, because usually it's the first, I'd say, minute or two. It's probably the most intense, other than the finish. So if you want to get out fast, prepare for an intense effort off the start. Once you get through that first minute or so, though, things will settle back. As you'll see, you can draft a bit, catch your breath, and again, hopefully you're out with a quick group that will pull you around the world fairly quickly. Obviously, you can always go to the front and do some work yourself. Going up a climb here, geez, building a little quicker than I wanted. So anywho, make sure you're ready to go when that start time hits. So I'm going to do a gradual build. I'll throw some spin-ups in there, just get the cadence up. That'll build the intensity as well. Everyone in New York here is obviously in New York. After some spin-ups, we'll do some higher intensity, just regular cadence stuff for about 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off. And that should prime me up pretty good. Don't have to do too much more than that. About 5 minutes out, that's when I'm going to, I'll just save my warm-up so I track it, exit out, and that'll give me ample time to get back into the Zwift world, reload everything, join the race, and should be ready to go at that time. Geez, 15%. Okay, well, working on the ramp up pretty well. So, again, give myself 20 minutes, 10 minutes here, I'll ramp. Obviously, I'm already ramping. And the last 10, I'll focus on some drill work, again, some spin-ups, some high-intensity intervals. Might do some one-leg stuff as well, just to make the pedal stroke feel good. And it should be all good to go. So other things you need to know about racing. One, the races we're doing, I will leave weight doping as an option to level the playing field. If you're joining general races, that's cheating. So please make sure Before you jump in, check your weight. I actually gained a kilo over these last couple of days, so I'm gonna have to bump mine up to 75 kilos as opposed to the 74 it's sitting at, so make sure I hit that. Actually, I can show you that right now, just so I don't forget. So if you bring up your menu, even while you're in game, and I'm going uphill, so I'll stop pretty quick, which is good. I can flip over here, up here, and I'm just gonna bump this guy up to 75, which unfortunately is gonna make me a little slower today, but that's okay. The other thing you wanna do while you're in here, go to your garage, make sure you got the right bike set up so you can buy, oops, I'm gonna have to come to a complete stop. If you don't come to a complete stop, you won't be able to select your bike. This stops riders from changing bikes as they're riding. So for example, if you're transitioning onto a gravel patch, a gravel or mountain bike will go faster than a road bike. So sometimes riders will want to flip on the fly. So people aren't doing that, or that there's a quote unquote penalty to do so. You have to come to a complete stop, then you can switch bikes, and then away you go again, which some people actually use as an effective strategy to race hard on the gravel if it's long enough. So one important thing is to know what type of course you're doing. What I'm racing today is going to be a little flat with some rollers, so I'm going to go for more aero. If I was doing a climbing race, I might pick the canyon up here, which has got a little lighter in terms of the weight, so it'll climb a little better. So different bikes will perform differently. If you want to know what each bike does, you can look that up online. I'm really close to my Trek Madone, so I'm saving up for that one, which I think will be my next purchase. So for now, it looks good. I'm riding 404s, which is a nice cross between aero. I'm not going to say climbing, but they're not the lightest, somewhere in the middle. So I don't have this super deep dish on, but somewhere here it's cool. I could again go to 202s or some other wheel sets if I wanted. Again, I would ride 202s maybe if I was doing a climbing hill or a climbing race. So that's pretty much it. Got the bike set, got the kilos set right. Obviously my kit is incredibly gaudy, but that was for the group ride last night, so if people didn't join the meetup, they'd be able to see me loud and clear, as that's probably the loudest kit I could possibly find. Alright, so a couple minutes here, I'm gonna get into some spin-ups. Must have chose the hilliest climb here to get started on. That's okay. Okay, so now we'll just get into a couple spin-ups. 30 seconds, I'm just gonna try to bring the RPMs up. Probably max out 105, maybe 110. So we're going uphill. Let's switch gears a bit here. Nice if you pick a flat route. And bring her down. So I suspect that I'll be just north of 400 watts for the first minute or so, probably up 500-600 initially, and then again they'll settle back. Should be able to ride in the mid to high 2s the majority of the ride. First bit's flat, so again, if I get out with a good group, I'll be able to draft a bit. Here we go again, revving it up. Can't get the cadence up because I'm going 14% grade. Nice. Heart rate's getting up. So, a few minutes here. Should see my countdown pop up to join this group here for this race. So see the power up that just came into my top corner there. I got the leaf. This will come into play in the race as well. So these power ups you can activate by clicking on them, using your Zwift companion app, or pressing the space bar. And that'll give you a special power. Leaf takes off some watts per or some kilos. It's 8 or 9 or something like that kilos. So that'll increase your power to weight ratio, making you go uphill a lot faster. The truck is a drafting boost, lets you draft really easy. There's experience points bonuses. There are, in racing, there's a burrito, which makes people not draft you. You can probably pick out what that symbolizes. We have a ghost, which makes you invisible, so you can do an attack where nobody sees you. And you have an arrow boost, which will make you go super fast, a little more aerodynamic. And each of those lasts for different durations of time, which you'll get to play with, but used strategically can make the difference between winning and losing. All right. Should see an event pop up pretty soon. Starts in 4 minutes. I should have seen it by now. I'm gonna get out of here. Gonna save this as my warm-up. I'm gonna go all the way back out. Okay, so here we go. Let's go, event starting. Not gonna have much time before the start here. Got 1:22. Only 44, okay. Yeah, pretty light race here. I'm sure more will join, but it looks like we're gonna be under 100. See if we go for a top 10. Sometimes you'll get in small group races. Sometimes there'll be hundreds, so it's kind of nice when they're a little less, because everyone is populated, whereas if you're in a group with hundreds or even thousands, you're not actually going to see everybody. So if you think you're in the lead, you might have people populating in front of you. So I'm not too sure whether it's just 52 in the A's. Again, A is the 4 to 5 kilowatt or watts per kilogram based on threshold. So my threshold of 307 divided by my kilos gives me about 4 point something. Here we go. I'm gonna start revving it up. Seeing what riders are going out quick. Not many. That's good. Just one guy. I'll get on his wheel. Yeah, only 56. A bigger group, obviously, you'll see more. So everyone's gonna go hard for a bit. One person's going off the front. We'll catch them unless they're some sort of uber pro. Coming up to a minute. Everyone's gonna settle down a bit. I can draft a bit. Get the fan back. Getting hot quick. Turn it up. Now I can sit in about the mid twos. But I can't get comfortable. Always looking for gaps. So little surges will bring you back up to the front as you draft through people. And if you want to stay up near the front, you either got to work hard all the time or have those little quick surges. And as you can see, guys at the front pushing 4s, sometimes 5s. I can sit in 3 and draft and keep up quite well. But if I didn't pay attention, they could get the jump and open up a gap. And once I've lost the draft, it's pretty much impossible to pull them back. I have to give a really hard effort. So you really don't want to let it gap out any more than a few seconds or that group is gone. I'm gonna pick it up again here, move up in the group a bit. As we get into the race, I'll probably voice over and stop talking, but give you the play-by-play on the strategy. So this is definitely the front group, sitting 19th, anywhere between, it looks like first I think, and 20 something. So I just got a burrito power up. Not my favorite. Again, it will stop people from drafting me. I might mess with some people a little bit later, jump off the front with my burrito and make them chase me down just for fun. But for now, I'm happy to sit comfy. Looks like this is a strong group. A lot of guys just sitting above 4, so higher than what I'm putting out. When we go uphill, we'll see what happens. A lot of guys will ride too hard though, and not realize they can go a lot easier and still draft and hang on to the group. Now obviously, a lot easier to stay together on the flat. The drafting is a lot higher. As soon as you start climbing uphill, you'll usually see an attack or an acceleration. And that's when you really got to be ready to go. We have a slight riser coming up, and I'll be ready for it. If you build into the hill a little sooner than most, you'll slingshot to the front and you'll be positioned a little better to stay with everyone on the climb. So as you can see now, everyone's settled down a bit. Looks like there is a rider potentially up the road. I don't think 10 riders are in front of me. Oh, there we go. Oh, maybe it's okay, yeah. This might be it. Let's go to first and be sure. Yep. Let's see where I use my burrito. I just use it to get rid of it. If I pick up another one, I'm either hoping for drafting or arrow, and I'll use that for the sprint finish, which I believe is a sprint finish. So as you can see, cooking around here, 47 kilometers an hour, moving pretty quick as a group, a lot quicker than you normally would, just because you have people using that draft, surging to the front, which always pushes the pace up at the front up, and then they cycle back. So you should see that same anomaly of cycling front back, unless you're just hanging on. So downhills you can draft even more. So as you can see, 2.9. I'm hanging on really easy. 2.9 watts per kilogram. So I'm continually watching that side ticker, seeing what everyone's putting out. Keeping an eye on orange numbers. That means someone putting in a really hard effort, and if you want to shut it down, got to make sure you respond quick. Or if I see everyone is kind of easing up, that might be when you want to throw an attack. Or say, thank God, now I'm going to recover a little bit. But right now, I'm just riding tempo. It's not too bad. It'll get harder when I'm just holding threshold and VO2. And that's probably when you'll hear me shut up a bit, because I'll just need to breathe. If you're looking at my heart rate, my threshold heart rate is about 155, so you may be higher or lower than me. If your threshold is more up in the 70s or 60s, obviously at tempo here, you'd be riding quite a bit higher. So a little surge there, just picked it up, made sure I stay with the meat of the group. This is where we're going to go up to a 2 or 3%. We'll see who's going to stomp on the pedals a bit. I think it's around these next two bends. I actually haven't done this race. I'm just familiar with this part of the Zwift world, so if you know your course, a lot easier to strategize. I'm gonna relax a bit, getting ready for this push. And moving up. Want to make sure I don't get caught in any breaks. Breaks in the group, I mean. Oh, we're not to that climb yet. Still gotta go through this little town, my bad. Should watch the map. So once we get into that climb, we'll be going up for a little while, it looks like. You can tell on your elevation on your map. So we're gonna be probably pushing, say for the next 5 minutes, threshold of VO2 once we start climbing. Again, I'll prepare, grab a drink first. So back of this group is 20th position. You can also see where groups are behind. We got a minute 50 on the next group, which means no falling off, or it's a long time for that next group to catch you. There's a little surge. Again, those are what you got to be ready for. Hopefully other riders will pull them back and drag you up. But if not, that's what you got to be careful of, because then they're gone. And you can just sit there 5 to 10 seconds back, pushing your hardest and not making ground. It's very frustrating. All right, here we go. I think everybody's waiting. So even though we're going uphill at this speed, still drafting. Steeper hills, maybe not so much. Putting out some big watts at the front now. And ease back. Now switch it over to virtual Corey now. Still going up. Good, that first rider got tired. One more climb. A little bigger than that one. This will be interesting. Little rest. Here we go. Gonna stay up near the front, so we'll probably get a gap going up this. And if I can stay at the top 5 riders, I should be able to hold on. That's if. Got a little break. I'll do the work. Almost to the top. One guy off the front. We should catch him. Careful on these rollers. An easy gap. $5K. I'm feeling it. So I got a speed boost, which means I want to draft till about 100 meters and then just go. But I'm not the only one with a power up. This is going to be a good sprint finish. Really no more climbs. Unless someone tries to go now. Have to watch for ghosts. About a kilometer out. My goal will be to stick on like the 5th place rider, have them pull me to 100 meters, energy boost it, or aero boost, sprint to the finish. As long as I'm still with them here. Points, 5K. Everyone's getting ready for the sprint. Make sure you have your gear selected. Something you can rev up. Must be a good time for someone to ghost it. Although we're still moving. That'd be a hard pace on your own. Starting to pick it up a bit. Lead out's begun. One kilometer. Okay, 1.1. 1 kilometer. Meters. Missed that. Missed the jump. Third. So you can see I rode way more conservatively at 4.2 watts per kilogram. Which, sorry everybody, I wasn't doing a whole lot of work today. Technically we tied second, third, but I guess he beat me. All right, well, there's a Zwift race. I'm gonna stay here for a bit, cool it down. I'll use my drafting boost. Bring that heart rate back. So, you can race however you like. If you want to get out with a quicker group, you can see how hard you need to go in that first minute. But then, trust you're going to be able to settle back. And if for some reason you get dropped off that group, luckily, if you're not in the last group, you have another one to come and pick you up. Save those boosts for when you need them or when you should use them. Again, if you're falling off and you need to use it, well, that's fine too. Make sure you get a good warm-up in prior. Show up nice and early. Get some high intensity going so you don't blow any tires, your body tires, in that first 1 minute effort. And then you got to pay attention the entire ride. That one was pretty tame. Not a whole lot of tacks or dynamics because it was pretty flat. We could all just ride together. But you may get into some races where there's multiple attacks, counter attacks, especially on hills. So always be ready for those. Remember, everyone's gonna push harder going uphill, so if you know when it's coming, ease up, recover, relax, and get ready to go, because I guarantee you it will increase in intensity. Probably good to grab your drink before as well, because you never know when that opportunity will come again where you have enough air to still pedal and breathe at the same time. So that's about it for the racing tutorial. I said, a lot of fun. That'd be a pretty high effort for me. May not be the max overall watts. I've had harder end sprints that I timed a lot better, but I think over the course of that race, some good watts overall. So again, in terms of training intensity, one of the best ways is racing, and it gets that competitive bug out of you a little bit as well, now that we don't know when our next real live races will be happening. So jump on, practice, or join in for our club races. It's gonna be a lot of fun. We'll see you there.